Marine first responders demand payments for oil spill response efforts. Tobago cultural groups to miss out on Prime Minister's Best Village competition. Secretary Ian Pollard complains of lack of funding for housing. And Fog Angels plans for a spectacular showcase at Tobago Carnival 2024 in October. Good evening, I am Bianna Brebner. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Wednesday, 17 July 2024. To our top story. Stakeholders in the marine industry are calling for payment after rendering services for the oil spill response efforts. Fishermen and members of the diving industry held a joint press conference in Scarborough today where they stated that after suffering damages to vessels and equipment during the response effort 6 months ago, they have yet to receive payments. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
But it's disheartening to me the powers that be do not appreciate the efforts with our bare hands and our tools to mitigate the damage that could have been done, the further damage that could have been done to the island of Tobago.
Director of Marine Safety and Security Services, Alvin Douglas, was the first diver to inspect the Gulf Stream wreck on February 7th in an attempt to identify the vessel that was leaking oil. He continued to dive the wreck almost every day for weeks as experts tried to get the situation under control.
All my dive equipment went bad, all. I have 15 sets. Each set would cost upwards of $16,000. They're all gone. I cannot take clients in the water with faulty equipment because the oil tends to degrade the equipment.
He was not the only one who suffered damage while assisting. Several fishermen lent their boats and their sailing abilities to ferry experts to and from the site and to lay oil booms.
I was affected by the hydrocarbon. Was very, very thick in the water, and it destroyed my engine. So right now I'm out of an engine.
Well, the engine deal with heat. Water need water to cool down. And when this oil get up into the engine and meet with that heat, it makes a gum. When it makes that gum, I start to block up all these water pots. Your engine can't cool down. Overheat. I matched up 2 engines since I working in this oil here.
President of the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, Curtis Douglas, explained that after 6 months, they had hoped to receive payment for the damages incurred while assisting.
This why it is you want to owe us the ministry and the workers of the Ministry of Energy who would have worked on the oil spill in the island of Tobago, in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, are being paid.
The THA requested $153 million from central government to cover costs for the initial oil spill response. However, they were only allocated $50 million during the mid-year budget review. Out of that total, they approved $1.5 million to cover marine services. However,
what I'm getting from THA is that the allocation hasn't come from central government. And until they get the money from central government, they will pay us.
What marine stakeholders are seeking is separate and apart from the compensation for damages caused by the oil spill itself to the marine industry. In this case, they are claiming compensation as first responders involved in the effort to prevent further impact. Meanwhile, the IOPC has opened a portal on its website to allow anyone affected by the oil spill to submit claims. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates Television News.
The International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund is asking fishermen who are affected by the February oil spill to present evidence stating their losses due to the spill. While fishermen are objecting to some of the requirements, political leader of the Unity of the People, Nkosi Phillips, support this requirement.
This can be one of 2 things. Despite you are a fisherman or not, you are conducting a business. You are an entrepreneur, right? And you must know if it is feasible as a fisherman to be a fisherman.
Phillips stated that the fishermen must know how much money they are spending daily on gas and how much money they make when they catch and sell fish.
Because you must come back home when you're done with the fish, you pick up your money, push it in the pocket. You must count your money to say, okay, go, I'll make $1,000 today.
Phillips pointed out that it is important to keep good records. He shared that he hoped the Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development would take this opportunity to host classes to teach fishermen entrepreneurial skills.
And to engage them into money saving, because let me just say this. The Agriculture Division and the Ministry of Agriculture, they give grants to fishermen. They give subsidy in gas or diesel, whatever they use to go there.
However, Phillips noted that fishermen would face difficulty in meeting some of the requirements requested, but said there should be no excuses. They also hope the IOPC would collaborate with the fishermen to see how best they can be assisted. In other news, in a surprising turn of events leading up to the highly anticipated Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition, Tobago's cultural groups received some unexpected news. Days before the event, while preparations were underway, they were informed that the sponsorship from the Tobago House of Assembly would not cover all participants. Instead, a separate final event for Tobago's group would be arranged at a later date. Johnny Campbell tells us more in this story.
Tobago's cultural community is reeling with disappointment. Several of its prominent groups, including Rhythmic Vibrations, Youthquake, Sisters in Culture, Encore Dance Theatre, Delicia's Dance Agency, and Zante Unique Touch, were unable to participate in the finals of the Best Village Trophy competition held over the past 2 weeks. These groups, known for their spirited performances and artistic excellence, had qualified with high hopes after showcasing their talents in the preliminary rounds. Over the years, Tobago has consistently excelled in the competition with notable achievements such as Encore Dance Theatre securing first place in the Limbo category last year and Zante Unique Touch winning accolades for their captivating French-influenced performance. The groups were excitedly preparing for another great showing. However, the mood turned somber when it was revealed that sponsorship constraints prevented all qualifying Tobago groups from participating in the finals alongside their Trinidadian counterparts. When questioned about the decision, Shamfa Kojo, Minister of Sport and Community Development, acknowledged the logistical challenges posed by the large number of qualifying groups this year compared to previous years. She explained that a collaborative decision was made with the Ministry and the Department of Culture to host a separate event in Tobago on August 17th and 18th, bringing judges to the island to evaluate the performances. Julian Skeet, administrator in the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, assured concerned groups that a detailed press conference with comprehensive information would soon follow. He emphasized that every effort would be made to ensure that no Tobago group would be disadvantaged by this arrangement. Despite these assurances, Tobago's cultural groups remained discontented with the situation. Many members expressed frustration over feeling sidelined and questioned the fairness of this arrangement, especially considering Tobago's historical contributions and successes in the competition. The uncertainty surrounding their participation in the upcoming event has left many performers and cultural enthusiasts anxious about the future of Tobago's representation in the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition. As preparations for the event continue and details are awaited from the authorities, Tobago's cultural community remains hopeful for a resolution that will uphold their traditions, showcase their talents, and ensure equitable participation in this celebrated cultural showcase. Janae Campbell, Tobago Updates, Television News.
We'll take a break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard, nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Said I'm falling, falling, I'm falling. As I lay in my bed with my head to the ceiling. Say I'm drowning alone and I'm lost in my feelings. Somebody send me a sign, cause you know that I need it. Carnival, come back to me, cause you know you're my healing.
Welcome back. Crime has been escalating in Tobago, with the most recent being a quadruple murder. The surge in violence on the island has prompted various stakeholders to express their concerns. Curtis Douglas, president of the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, called for a stronger action against crime on the island. Reporter Joshel Dan has more in this story.
Curtis Douglas, president of the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, is concerned about the crime situation in Tobago. He noted that there are some shortcomings which the government needs to address, such as the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard.
The first thing you have to do is kickstart the Coast Guard, because a man could leave Venezuela and walk from Venezuela with a cocos bag of gun and walk straight into Tobago.
Douglas also pointed out that the political involvement in handling the crime situation has been a hindrance.
Take out the politics and put the people who knows about what is going on and treat with it.
Director of the Tobago Marine Safety and Security Services, Alvin Douglas, is also concerned about the crime situation. He called on the government to collaborate with the community. He stated that before 1990, the police force was a part of the community, interacting with residents on the ground. He argued that this assisted the police in gathering information concerning crime. Douglas noted that since that time, the police service has become specialized and detached from the community.
The police is part of our community. They come from us. They need to go back to the community, because you cannot solve crime if you separate yourself from the community. In fact, I would say all the security forces have separated themselves from the community.
Correct.
And that is one of the main reasons why you have the proliferation of crime that is escalating day by day.
The marine industry stakeholders say they stand ready to assist the police in whatever way they can to fight crime. Joshel Dan, Tobago Updates Television News.
The political leader of the Unity of the People, Nkosi Phillips, supports the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Tobago's division zero tolerance approach to crime. Phillips was referring to the comments made by Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin on Tuesday's Tobago Updates morning show. However, he is asking the TTPS Tobago Division and those from the ITF to respect citizens and their property while conducting their work.
In engaging in their conduct and their search and the way how they approach the people and the citizens. And in return, I also ask the citizens of Tobago to please respect the officers and let them conduct their duties in a professional way.
Phillips also urged citizens to comply with the rules and regulations. They expressed satisfaction with the TTPS approach so far, sharing that they are feeling a sense of safety, especially in their community.
Where the officers are really up and down. They're doing their community stop and seizure, they're doing their beach patrols to making sure that the citizens are safe. They're even engaging the citizens on the beach as well, and especially the tourists and persons coming to the island. So
Phillips shared that he hoped this level of policing would discourage criminal activity and there would be no more murders for the rest of the year. As crime statistics continue to rise, Tobago Updates took to the streets of Scarborough to gauge public sentiment on tackling crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Reporter Janae Campbell posed a crucial question to Tobagonians. What measures can be taken to curb crime and ensure safety in our communities? Here's what people had to say.
Well, to help eradicate the crime problem and thing too, we need more love, more unity, and more strength within the communities, and everybody needs to come together to really get a grip on crime, because crime is not one person problem, it's everybody's problem.
Well, the youths of Tobago just need more jobs, because with all the jobs now, they go what to rob and thief and kill people, and that makes no sense, because we have a THA in Tobago, and they're only thinking about themselves now, boy, and not the youths.
But if the police officers have spiritual wits, a lot of things could be done. In other words, they're supposed to have spiritual people working along with them to curb the crime, to find up. In other words, they don't need to even ask questions. They could just go forward and pinpoint and say, come. And he will have to admit.
Well, when the criminal kill anyone and they find the person guilty, is to hang them high. Hang them and let the parents and all who want to come out, don't hang them behind bars, hang them on a tree that like James Park, and everybody come and have a view.
I believe we could take a values-oriented approach to solving crimes in Trinidad and Tobago. So stress should be placed in the primary and secondary schools on the teaching of values. And
well, for my opinion, is to get rid of the Prime Minister, change the Prime Minister, and we could get a new change in the country. Because the Prime Minister really serve no purpose to the country. All he's seen about just himself alone.
One solution, capital punishment. Because they're doing it because they know that then nobody ain't getting killed, nobody anything, and they're getting away. So for me, bring back capital punishment.
You're watching the Tobago Updates television news. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. Stay with us, more when we return.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. More, live more.
Thanks for staying with us. Many secretaries in the Tobago House of Assembly have complained about having limited resources, and Secretary for Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development Ian Pollard is one of them. He appeared on Tobago Update's Good Morning Tobago show, emphasizing the importance of housing while discussing the challenges the division has faced with the approval of plans from the Town and Country Planning Division in Trinidad for various projects. Ariana Scipio has the report.
Secretary of Settlement, Public Utilities and Rural Development Ian Pollard highlighted that housing was a social issue affecting many Tobagonians. He mentioned that the division was the smallest in the THA but is underfunded. When speaking about the division's goals, Pollard said they were far off track.
I've been watching the whole system and hence that we are forced to do things sometimes out of the box. Our secretary, other secretaries and myself, because we have limited financing. But because of the limited financing, and we have persons or systems that are, in want of a better word, that are putting roadblocks, that we do not succeed.
He then raised the issue of the Town and Country Planning Division's response time, mentioning that it took 96 days for them to respond to a letter requesting approval to construct the housing scheme. Pollard also noted that it took 64 days for them to respond to a letter providing guidelines for housing development in Adventia and Adelphi in Mason Hall. It was an issue he raised with Town and Country last Thursday.
And he said, if you take these plans to send them to Trinidad to be approved, you're waiting another 6 months. And this isn't just the system. I think this is deliberately done to stymie the growth and development of this dispensation in Tobago.
Secretary Pollard highlighted that in Jamaica, it takes approximately 6 to 8 weeks for final approval for projects, while in Tobago, it takes approximately 15 weeks to get an outline approval. He believes this delay is deliberate. When asked what could be done to speed up the process, he noted that housing is a 5th scheduled item in the THA Act.
I was not waiting on the government to take back Town and Country, because that was under us. That is under us. It's only from Mr. Orville London came into office in 2001 that responsibility was handed back to Trinidad. And to date, they do not want to release it in arms so that we could function.
Pollard noted that the longer people wait for these approvals, the more their mortgages increase. He said that this situation has forced Tobagonians to build their houses out of their own pockets, noting that often people's incomes are not sufficient for this purpose. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
Fog Angels was one of the biggest bands on display for the 2023 Tobago Carnival. They are planning to be even bigger and better for the 2024 Carnival in October. Representatives from the band appeared on Tobago Update's morning show to discuss their plans. Tanisha Williams has the details.
Kerry Sanderson of Fog Angels stated that the public can expect a grand showcase from them for Tobago Carnival 2024.
So we are excited to present our theme for October Carnival this year. All right. Tobago Carnival, in its sense, is something that we look forward to because we no longer have to compete with the Trinidad Carnival. So Tobago can stand alone and be recognized internationally and regionally.
Sanderson Fog Angels explained that for 2024, they have chosen a theme that reflects the spirit and vibe they want their patrons to enjoy while participating in the revelries.
Our theme for Tobago Carnival 2024 is cocktails and bacchanal. Everything we do, we try to represent Tobago in some sort of way based on what people want to do when they come to the island. All right, so cocktails, picture yourself in Tobago sipping on a cocktail. Your favorite cocktail, that's the costume you want to play in, and the bacchanal part of it is the juve.
Meanwhile, band representative Simoy Defoe said that one thing the band prides itself on is producing an amazing product for Carnival, and they are ensuring they provide a good product this year.
So we have taken our time and meticulously handpicked our designers, our theme, as my colleague mentioned, and we are really putting a lot of effort into putting out a good product for Tobago Carnival this year.
Defoe stated that they are already receiving a lot of interest from the international community, who are looking forward to celebrating the last event on the Carnival calendar for the Caribbean.
We are really expecting an amazing time, and people are going to understand what Tobago Carnival is really about this year.
Additionally, Kerry is pleased that Tobago's Carnival is gaining its own identity by being the last lap for Carnival lovers.
I am Tanisha Williams, and this is Tobago Updates Television News.
We'll take a short break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release. Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on. From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival. Down here in Tobago, in Tobago. Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Now for the weather update from the TNT Met office. Tonight generally fair despite a few spotty showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorm, particularly towards dawn. This is associated with a low-level system. Temperatures will dip to 26 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, long fair and sunny periods will be interrupted by frequent intervals of light to moderate showers and rain in some areas. There is a low chance to medium chance of an isolated thunderstorm. Temperatures will rise to 31 degrees Celsius with a heat index of 34 degrees. Sea conditions are slight but may occasionally become choppy during showers. Waves are up to 1.5 meters and open waters and smooth in sheltered areas. Sunrise is 5:48 and sunset at 6:30 p.m. Despite assurances that oil is no longer leaking from the shipwrecked Gulfstream vessel, fishermen reported encountering oil every day while at sea. It is contaminating their equipment, damaging engines, and raising concerns about the health of the fish. The Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries told the nation that all of the oil was decanted from the vessel, but the fishermen believe this is not true. Reporter Candice Jackson has the details.
Oil is reportedly being spotted in Crown Point, Pigeon Point, and even Castara. According to fisherman Owen Cox, it is happening
every day. Nothing have changed. Nothing have changed. They said the oil, the boat is not leaking. It is.
He explained that the oil gets caught in certain currents, which take it around the island.
This oil that I see yesterday came from Lambo side. This is the path we run off a Crown Point, going. Right, I meet this. I just go all long Trinidad side and fish, right? And as far as we go, this oil went. Now this oil with this current is coming back up to and going to the north, right? So it brings up all this oil back up to the Caribbean side here.
He is not the only one. Another fisherman, Kirk Campbell, was caught in oil recently.
I encountered the oil on the Kingfish ground down behind the airport. And I had to call for a tour back to port. I had some videos with all my pot and objects that I had in the sea to have a fish with only oil, everything, all my rope, everything.
This is putting the fishermen into further expense as they try to clean their vessels and repair engines. In some cases, fishermen who were affected when the oil spill began on February 7th and already conducted repairs are now forced to undergo more repairs.
No, I had to go and pull along my engine, which is like a new engine again, right? Where I spent thousands of dollars for to rebuild, right? I have to go and spend that now. I don't know what more.
Fishermen now have to travel further distances, as much as 30 miles, to avoid the oil. Additionally, President of the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association, Curtis Douglas, is concerned about how it might be affecting the fish.
The tonight is it gets more into the pores of the fish, and we are now seeing bubbles like marbles. I don't know if they would have used any chemicals in it to sink it, right? So when it sink, the fish, some groupers and stuff would feed on it and would get into the stomach. That will now cause a sense of contamination with it.
Meanwhile, when there is oil in the water close to shore, the diving community is severely impacted, according to President of the Tobago Diving Association, Alvin Douglas.
As soon as we know that there's any kind of a contaminant in the water, we are not going to dive. We are not going to operate. I have members who have not operated for months because as soon as we hear oil in the water, we cannot take our visitors in that condition.
They are yet to receive any compensation for the damages and loss of earnings suffered since February 7th. Meanwhile, they are concerned that the economic viability of their future in the marine industry is compromised by the continued presence of oil in the water. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Here's a recap of the headlines before we go. Marine first responders demand payment for oil spill response efforts. Tobago's cultural groups to miss out on Prime Minister's Best Village competition. Secretary Ian Pollard complains of lack of funding for housing. And Fog Angels plans for a spectacular showcase at Tobago Carnival 2024 in October. I am Brianna Brebner. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.